Sri Lanka is bolstering defence and security ties with India. The two countries have recently sealed two defence pacts in the month of March. The development arrives amid growing concerns of China's footprint in the Indo-Pacific region. Interestingly, the maritime security deals had not been mentioned by either India or Sri Lanka. The two deals are namely for a floating dock and surveillance aircraft. The details were divulged yesterday in a media clarification issued by Sri Lanka's Ministry of Defence. The press release said, and I'm quoting, the receipt of floating dock facility from the Government of India at no cost has been projected to reduce the annual outlay of 600 million rupees for outsourced docking repairs. And this proposal has been in the pipeline since the year 2015. The Dornier reconnaissance aircraft is basically deployed for maritime surveillance, search and rescue operations and to deliver information to various required platforms. It further elaborates that during the last couple of years, India agreed to provide one Dornier reconnaissance aircraft to Sri Lanka free of charge. Sri Lanka's Ministry of Defence statement also revealing that the Indian government will be sending an Indian team to train the Sri Lanka Air Force pilots. It says the training will enable the country to strengthen its maritime security while cutting a large cost. The press release also refers to the establishment of Maritime Rescue Coordination Centre or MRCC in Colombo with an Indian grant worth $6 million. This should help the country to ensure the safety of its vessels in compliance with various international conventions. Incidentally, the Lankan Defence Ministry's clarification arriving after the opposition flagged the agreements as threats to Sri Lanka's national security. And that's why the press release says the maritime security pacts with India will neither result in hindrance nor threat to Sri Lanka's national security as misinterpreted by several print and electronic media. It should be noted that India's maritime assistance to Sri Lanka coincides with New Delhi's own efforts to enhance Indian ocean security and intelligence sharing. India's NSA Ajit Doval also had called for a regional response to maritime challenges at the Colombo Security Conclave in the Maldives. Meanwhile, a third maritime security pact was signed on Monday. This was when India's External Affairs Minister Jaishankar met the Sri Lankan Foreign Minister. Jaishankar's visit was a diplomatic win since Indian power projects will now be replacing Chinese ventures in 3 islands of Jaffna. This apart from the key bilateral agreements that India has signed with Sri Lanka in January. They included joint development of the Trincomalee oil tank farms and 3 major power projects involving NTPC and the Adani Group. Moreover, India has already extended $2.4 billion of economic support to help the country cope with its economic crisis. Our correspondent, Sonia Thoda, sent us this report from Colombo. Take a look.
Issuing a media release today, the Ministry of Defence assured that the security pacts that have been signed with India will in no way impugn or affect the sovereignty of Sri Lanka. And that's not all. The Ministry of Defence in its release also said that the formulation or rather the introduction of a Maritime Resource Cooperation Centre here in the country will both benefit India and Sri Lanka as maritime issues for the region is of paramount importance, while once again assuring that the interests of both India and Sri Lanka will be protected with these security pacts. Reporting for WION World is one from Colombo. I'm Sonia Thoda.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.